You're listening to Last Word Radio, where you get the last word.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Running Wild podcast. I'm your co-host, Rich, and alongside, as always, my co-host, Runz.
Lucha.
That's really, I did not expect that at all.
I knew you wouldn't.
Always keeping me on my toes. Before we get into the heart of the episode, I just want to remind everyone to send your emails over to runningwildpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter at runningwildlws. You can listen to us on iTunes or Stitcher for Android devices. Make sure to subscribe and leave us a comment. Give us a rating. We'd love to have enough ratings to have an average rating score. I know you guys just keep forgetting. Also, don't forget to send your trivia our way. We had a big week last week, and we're looking for more challengers. So please make sure you send us something our way. And I guess without further ado, unless I'm forgetting something, let's get right into the episode. So not as packed as last week. I mean, even close to being that packed.
No, but I guess the first thing we could talk about is Raw, and I thought it was a pretty good episode of Raw. It was pretty entertaining to me.
God, I don't like that Fandango was in the Royal Rumble. Or is he just on the stage? I don't know.
Yeah, I doubt he's actually in the Royal Rumble.
I mean, Raw made me feel like I'm not going to see any surprises in the Rumble. And I also felt like real life was playing out between Heyman and McMahon's.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. But I disagree with the surprises. Just because they had people on the entranceway doesn't mean anything. Like, only 10 of them came out later when it actually mattered. So,
okay.
I think that's just a visual thing. But we're definitely going to see some type of surprises. I mean, half the roster is injured, and they're building towards the biggest WrestleMania ever. They got to do something, even if it's like AJ Styles. Like, I don't care. That'll still be dope, because even if I know he's coming, I don't know he's coming that day at that time, or So even that would still be cool. So I think we'll get some type of cool moments in the Rumble. And from what I read yesterday, they said that like they mapped out like the end of the Rumble, whatever, and the way that it finishes, they said is going to set up a major match for Fastlane. So that leaves me with some high expectations of they're going to do something cool towards the end or to end it, and we're going to get a good match afterwards. So I'm interested. The Rumble is always awesome. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'm really excited. Not as excited as I was, by 92, but I was actually thinking about Royal Rumbles, and I just kind of realized that I think every year I get excited, but then I just get Reigns winning was disappointment for me last year, and then the year Del Rio winning that one year. I heard somebody say that an awesome Royal Rumble was 2008, and I was like, I cringed, because that's the one that we were there and Cena won. And I realized that most of the endings, I get excited I've always been excited about the idea that anybody can win, because somehow I actually buy into it. I don't know, but this year it's kind of renewed my interest in it. Even though I think I don't know. Part of me feels that the outcome is more predictable because of the fact that they're making this all versus one.
I agree that it feels like Reigns wins, and I don't mind it because like this should be when he wins the Rumble. Like this makes sense. But if I factor in that he won last year, it's kind of like, ugh, like he's gonna win 2 Rumbles in a row. Like that's kind of crazy, you know. Like only the best of the best, like built from WWE, have done that. And I don't know, like see, now I have a question. I feel, or a statement, I guess. I feel like the crowd reaction last year killed the Rumble, not necessarily the booking of it. Like maybe the booking of Daniel Bryan in it could have been better, and that would have left fans more happy. But I was not with the giant overreaction to that shit. You know, that wasn't fair to Roman Reigns or to WWE. You know, yeah, I wanted to see Daniel Bryan win too, and maybe he deserved it. Yeah, it would have been awesome. But okay, I would also like to see Heath Slater win the WWE title. Like that doesn't mean it should happen. Not that that's a realistic comparison, but you get what I'm saying. You know, like just because we like someone or want something to happen doesn't give us any right to demand how they book their show.
I mean, I think that's part of the problem sometimes. Oh God, do you remember Batista won a Rumble? Oh, that was terrible. Yeah,
yes,
he. That's
he
how,
did
that's
because that was, and then Brian came in. Yeah.
Terrible. No, I do think that it's funny. So I think in part sometimes WWE does need to change the way they book things.
Yeah,
not
100%.
because I think that they need to listen to me, but just like right now I'm happy with their booking because not because like they're picking the guys that I necessarily want to see where they are, but I'm surprised a little bit more than I've been in a while.
Like they're doing a good job of making you care about people that you necessarily didn't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's the key to good booking. When I get pretty hyped when Kalisto wins, like that was an ill moment, and then they ruin it. But first off, like that was okay. So Kalisto loses on the title to Del Rio on SmackDown, and what is the point?
Hold on, I didn't. So I'm not privy. I'm what?
Yeah, Del Rio wins the title back on SmackDown.
Oh, that's terrible.
What, like, even if, right, going into that match, you said, okay, we're going to get Kalisto, you know, the underdog, unexpected win, and then Del Rio get it back. Okay, cool. But when you did it and the crowd went insane for Kalisto, then that's it. Hey, let's keep the title on him. Let's see what happens. Like, when he won it, right, I was like, oh, shit, dope, because he just beat him on SmackDown. So I didn't think he was going to actually win on Raw. And so I was pretty surprised. The crowd went insane. Everyone was doing the stupid lucha shit. And then, like, you have the real just win it right away. Like, when Kalisto won, I was like, oh, okay, you know, now this gets the belt off Del Rio. He can go do whatever. And now somebody else can win the U.S. title. Like, it's believable now. Like, good for Kalisto, but now anyone can win again instead of it having to be that top tier guy. You know,
the only thing that I can think would be the reason for them to do this is if you think about what if they feel like, okay, look, Kalisto's not big enough yet, so let's have him fluke win the title, or like not fluke, but you know, like surprisingly win the title. Then he loses it, and now people actually see him as a credible champion. So now the chase becomes more exciting.
But
is that what
like,
you do?
But you already did a good job with like this storyline and the chase for it, and you got people to care about Kalisto, and winning that title could have made him that next, you know, upper mid card or like solidified mid card guy. But now it is seen as a fluke, and now I don't believe that he's credible. Instead of him retaining the title a couple of times, hey, even if it's by roll-ups, then he catches Del Rio, then he beats a couple other guys, then maybe he loses to Del Rio at the Rumble or whatever. But now it is a fluke, and now I don't care because I'm just disappointed again.
Well,
Like,
I'm really
oh, great!
surprised.
Every time you do something good, you ruin it.
I'm really surprised. I don't know how I missed. It's been a busy week, but I don't know how I missed reading the SmackDown results. So I'm legitimately I'm trying to process it. So I'm not sure if I'm like as angry just yet because I'm more confused.
Like even though we're taping this on Thursday, and they put that Del Rio won on WWE.com on Tuesday or whatever. Like what are you doing?
Well, I also
You
heard
have
that
a.
they're
I
trying
get
to
it.
step
Like
ahead of the dirt sheet.
yes, I understand that. Once the
Yeah.
results are out there, it's over. But why do it on a tape show then? And why? Like you're on USA, so I get you're trying to hotshot stuff, but like this doesn't help. You made me care about Kalisto, and then you took it away.
Thoroughly perplexing. Wow, this
Like
is
once you saw the reaction, that was it. It was done. Let this guy keep the title for a couple weeks and see what happens. Hey, if it burns out in 2 weeks or once this feud is over, then you can do whatever you want. But give it a chance.
really does not make any sense.
None whatsoever, man. Like you've been trying to build a Latin star, and here is your Rey Mysterio. Like he is Rey Mysterio. He speaks perfect English.
Oh yeah,
He
it's
does
crazy.
everything. Like he is Rey Mysterio. You know, I don't understand, man. It's just so like it takes the wind out of everything.
He doesn't have to say things in Spanish and then English.
Yeah, like I've always been a fan of him because I knew coming from the Indies that he did crazy stuff, and he always entertains me. But I never saw him as anything other than like okay, he'll just always be that spot guy. And then he won the U.S. title, and I was like, oh, all right, here we go. This is cool. And then he loses it. I mean, okay, we'll see what happens. But for
Yeah.
right now, I mean, it just seems stupid.
All right, what else happened? So, we had the all the stars out in the beginning of the show, and it led to the kind of first match, Ambrose and Sheamus. And it was very. I mean, these three together, or whatever, this interaction, kind of with Owens, Sheamus, and Ambrose. I mean, just very kind of attitude era, like just rough.
Yeah, that was a physical match and very, very entertaining. I don't mind the double count out just because, like, whatever. I understand why neither one of them should really be losing right now, so that's fine. And then, obviously, Kevin Owens coming out afterwards was just icing on the cake.
Yeah, no, he's been really effective. I was thinking, I mean, ever since I went to the event, the Raw with my brother, I know he likes.
See, you went to the Raw, damn. Because I saw a video. There was the inflatable Santa Clauses.
Yeah.
And it was on the side of the stage, and so it must have been at a house show. And Kevin Owens walked up to it, sized it up, and then just kicked it, and then it went flying. It was just awesome, man. But that's why I was meant to ask you, but now I just remembered it was Raw you went to, not the house show before. Anyway, I'm sorry. Continue.
No, it was great.
Just more Kevin Owens greatness.
What I was thinking about it was it seems so believable what they did on Monday.
With
that which with Owens coming out after. I mean, Ambrose looks really strong, busting. I mean, you couldn't have planned that better. Busting open
that was
Sheamus.
nasty too.
That
thing looked gross afterwards.
Yeah, and then you have Ambrose.
It was
come
like
out.
his whole joint.
Oof, it was
Yeah. Anyway.
I just was like, I would, if my little brother was, because I know now he watches it like Tuesdays, I guess. They tape because it's too late for him. It's like 9.
Yeah.
Just like he's watching that, like he must be legit upset. Like I wouldn't be able to explain that away. Like there's nothing that looks like ridiculous about it. Like it's a serious physical angle.
And so, I mean, just to just move on to the main event quickly, just to give you my story. So, like when I was talking to all the kids, at my job who watch, and they were like, yeah, like then everyone, was beating down Roman Reigns. And I was like, yeah. And where was Dean Ambrose? Where were the Usos? What kind of friends are those, right? And he was like, he put his head in his hands. He was like, I know. I was thinking the same thing. Like, and I was like, yo, thank you. Like, awesome. Super upset.
That makes me. I came across a definitely clickbait article on like Facebook, but it was somebody shared it. I don't know who. It was Hulk Hogan lies,
Jeez.
and some of these were amazing. Just so you know, for example, he said that the fight between him and Macho Man backstage after the Saturday Night's main event, where Macho thinks that Hogan took Elizabeth back, right? That was real. He was in an interview said, like he was a shoot interview. He said it was
never
real.
break kayfabe, bro.
He said it was real, and that the cameras just happened to go backstage.
Yeah, never break kayfabe.
Hold on, no. But his lies get better than that because he said that after WrestleMania 2, he went drinking with the dead Belushi brother, and here's the best part: the Belushi brother died in '82. WrestleMania 2 was in '86.
All right, well maybe he just mistaked his Belushis.
He also said that Elvis was a Hulkamaniac. Hulkamania started in '79. Elvis died in '77.
All right, he would have been a Hulkamania.
But I just like some of those are so amazing that
he's an absurd individual.
I just it's so great. But
by the way, I'm watching the Royal Rumble from 2000.
Yeah,
and this seems kind of unfair to me because 2000 Madison Square Garden, 2008 Madison Square Garden. Why is 2016 not Madison Square Garden, man? Pretty pissed off. Anyway. Back to our regularly scheduled programming.
All right.
Yeah, so I mean, good Ambrose Sheamus match, good post match angle. I mean, Ambrose Owens has been as good as I was hoping it would be.
Yeah.
Right? Like I mean, so far I love it. And did you see? Probably not. SmackDown they announced, which kind of confuses me, a last man standing between them at the Rumble.
Really? Wow. That's worth a $9.99 by itself.
Yeah, just that. Like, just give me that match, I'll pay for it. So that's going to be insane. So how do they enter the Rumble? Like,
maybe they don't.
Like,
I don't.
You know what I mean? Like, how does the loser enter the Rumble? Maybe Owens wins, and that's how he stays in. I don't know.
I mean, but see, like I could.
But you need Ambrose in there.
See, I also see a crazy scenario where. All right. What if Ambrose loses the IC title?
Correct. And then wins the WWE title?
Wins the Rumble. Like, and this is. Reigns and Brock are like, like at it, right? Or if something's got, right? Like, and in the commotion, Ambrose wins, right? So then you set up a big number one contenders match at Fastlane. Oh, see, but I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I said this last week, but I see, like this is where I can see something like that happening, right? So let's say Ambrose wins, and that sets up Ambrose Reigns at Fastlane, right? So there's your big match that's set up by the final, and then maybe Reigns wins the title back, and then or whatever, something happens, someone else gets involved, we move on to something. But I don't know, like that's where the title being on the line does make this interesting. As much as it seems like Reigns can win, there's 5 to 10 other guys who possibly could enter and win.
How do you eliminate Brock? How do you eliminate Brock without making
That's the thing. That's exactly like what happens with Brock. Is Owens and Ambrose in the Rumble? What does Reigns do? Is Triple H in the Rumble? Who else? Maybe Styles, Jericho. And okay, now that I mentioned this, can you admit that you're on the same page as me now, since he was pretty awful on Monday?
Who? I didn't
Jericho.
hear. I was actually very angry at Jericho.
He's horrible.
Why does he have to break the guy? Why does he have to break his instrument?
He's horrible. Okay.
What business does he have? I'm sorry, because that, like, kayfabe, I don't like him now because of that. Like, I'm good.
I get you.
Like, I will no longer cheer Jericho because there was no need for that. I hope it's fixed. Like, I hope this isn't the end of the trombone.
It's just the same thing from 10 years ago.
What was he wearing? What was that? Now, the suit jacket with the weird scarf?
Just put everything on at the same time, dude. Like, you don't gotta. I don't. He's. It's horrible, man.
Like,
just so like it clicked this week. What I was meaning to say last week. Like it seems like he's not trying. Like he doesn't care. Like in his book on the DVD, like you read them all or watched it. Like he always would say, like, oh, every time I come back, I try and do something new and keep it all fresh and blah. Now it just seems like he doesn't give a shit.
What do you mean?
Like, this is just his fallback option. Like, okay, I'm not touring now, so yeah, I'll go wrestle for a couple months. They need me. They'll pay me big money.
I think you're wrong. I think he's trying very hard. Like,
he's saying the same exact stuff he said 15 years ago.
He's trying as hard as your friend who has a dad who awkwardly still wants to be cool.
But exactly.
That's what he is. He is your dad's friend who you're like, what?
But he's trying to be cool by saying the same things he said in 2000. Like, he's not even saying the stuff that's funny now.
He's got to throw in a dab or just be current. I don't know.
Okay, definitely not. But
I will say that, by the way, I did dab in the hallway at work.
Horrendous.
And to the uninitiated, by the way, of course. It is current craze. I see, what's his name? The Panthers quarterback doing it all the time. But so I did it in the hallway. One of the kids looked at me and goes, "Please stop doing that." I go, "Why?" He goes, "Because then we can't do it anymore." I was like, Yes.
That's awesome.
But no, I was really kayfabe, like annoyed with Jericho and just kind of bored. And I was really just like, why does this boring segment in my anchor have to lead to the breaking of the trombone? I just
speaking.
I hope they mess him up. Like, I hope they mess him up for real.
Why couldn't he wrestle? Like, why couldn't he just?
That's the other thing.
Why couldn't it have just been a 6-man tag?
You already have no shirt on. Just take it up. Just take the suit jacket off.
And maybe now this sets up. And this is what I was hoping they were going to do on Monday until I remembered that Jericho was still in the ring. When the Usos were throwing their slammies in New Day's face, I thought New Day was going to be like, all right, we'll accept your challenge, but you got to put the slammies on the line. And then they'll do a slammies versus titles match so that New Day can say, oh, we're the tag team of the year, blah, blah, blah. Because I think, it's almost like titles, like they rightfully deserve that. Just put it on them, give it to them.
That'd be great.
So I thought that's where they're going. Maybe they'll do it at the Rumble. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think I see a 6-man tag next week.
Yeah, you think next week? Maybe we get that at the Rumble. Or maybe not. Like, I don't even want to fucking see Jericho.
Because Jericho's going to be in the Rumble, so you do a 6-man tag.
Yeah, then I guess. But why didn't you do it this Monday? I don't.
They needed Teddy Long.
Yeah, he would have made it happen.
If Teddy Long was there, he would just be like, holla, 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 all right, players.
Yeah. All right, you see everybody out there, player? You're all going to be in the match. A 6-on-6 3-man tag.
I can't breathe. Oh. All right. I mean, I don't even want to talk about it, but like, I'm just kind of sick of the Stardust Titus thing. I don't understand why Stardust has to lose every week.
Okay, how long has that been going on? Because, I mean, I fast forwarded through it, but I'm not like, oh, this is still going on. Like, I was just kind of like in general, you know, like all I've seen is like the backstage stuff. I never really saw them wrestle.
Yeah. No,
so
I've
like,
seen...
you know, yeah, Titus is entertaining. Stardust is cool, but my God, he got no reaction.
Yeah.
It was like you literally heard the groans. Like it was Stardust, and it was like, oh. And then you could just hear everyone in their own side conversations while he was coming out.
And he comes out in that, you know, nice tribute to David Bowie. I thought was nice with the Ziggy Stardust face paint instead of the regular Stardust face paint.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand why people don't like Stardust. I think he's freaking fantastic. I just think he needs to do something
it's
really heelish.
That, and it's just the character is just dead. Like it's...
I like it, but
too out there, man.
Speaking
but you
about
like it because it's like it's ridiculous, you know. Like he is awesome, super talented, and great. That's why we enjoy it. But that doesn't necessarily connect once you hit the ring.
God, but he's so consistent with it too. Like every movement, everything is a different. It's Stardust.
Yo, he was on Xavier Woods' like YouTube show playing Star Wars, and he had the face paint on, and like every time they beat a level, he would go and put his finger out, so everyone like would you know dap up the finger, and then like he just the entire time he talked in Stardust voice, and like Xavier Woods was like, oh, you were probably at some of these battles, right? And he was like, these are science fiction. I am science fact. He was just ridiculous. So like his commitment to the character and everything is phenomenal, but it's dead in the water right now.
I hope something happens to rectify that very shortly.
So do I, but I don't know. And speaking of
Outcast?
like David Bowie, and we'll get to that next. But
that was such a good segue, though. Okay, go ahead.
Chris Jericho again, like. When he like, oh, he said whatever, and he was like, oh yeah, that was a reference to Lemmy, and then oh yeah, oh that was a Bowie one. Like, yo, you don't need to like throw it in my face that you're doing that. I hate when people do that. Like you're making me aware that you're paying tribute to somebody. Like then you're not doing it just to pay tribute. You're doing it to get not like noticed that you're paying tribute. I hate that.
I mean, yeah, it's like, that's a cheaper pop than going out and being like, you know, the Garden, like, let's go Rangers, you know, like.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
But he probably would come out. But I bet you
that's the point.
Jericho comes out and he's like, ladies and gentlemen, in the same building where my father played for the Rangers. Let's go Rangers.
Yeah, I mean, that's okay. That's a cheap pop, and it's supposed to be that.
Yeah.
But like Stardust didn't come out and grab a microphone and say like, oh, hey, my face paint, this is for you. Like he just did it. The announcers mentioned it, but it wasn't like he put himself over. I hate that stuff. But anyway, yes. Now on to the social
outcasts. You had the Wyatts and the social outcasts square off, and then Ryback comes out. Is he siding with the outcasts, or
see? Like Rosenberg was talking about this on Cheap Heat, and like he was saying how like but like Ryback saved them, they saved Ryback, and then they stood tall together. So like it seems that way. But Ryback also is feuding with the Wyatts, and like the Outcast didn't like hug Ryback and stuff afterwards. So I don't know. It would kind of make sense because Ryback is a weirdo, but I don't know.
You guys like the secret?
Like they need some type of muscle. But then on SmackDown, so on SmackDown, this is amazing. It was the Social Outcasts, right?
Yeah.
Versus the even more Social Outcasts. Damian Sandow, Zack Ryder, Goldust, and damn, who's the other person? It's somebody else ridiculous.
Jack Swagger.
It's Swagger, Ryder,
Goldust.
Goldust, and then someone else.
Sandow.
Oh, and Sandow. Yeah, 4.
So Swagger was a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, 4-on-4. Yep.
Nice.
Like, really, WWE? What do you like? Just make them all one group. Like, what are you doing? But like, Bo kicked Adam Rose. Bo kicked Heath Slater off the apron or something. So I don't know if they're already teasing some tension or if it was just like an accent. Okay, cool, we won anyway. But who knows?
Well, those things are always orchestrated for a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's just tension for the Rumble. Because I mean, even back in the day, like tag teams would have some tension. Like I forgot what Rumble 90. Maybe it starts off where it's like Axe and Smash, where like facing each other.
Absolutely, I can see them eliminating each other in the Rumble and that kind of stuff. But like afterwards, does that get like erased, or does it just be like, okay, that was the Rumble, ha ha ha, now we're good? Is it that, or is it, oh, you eliminated me from the Rumble and now we're going to fight and Social Outcasts are over? Because I could see it going both ways.
Yeah, that unfortunately could happen too.
So, if it's the first way and it's just, okay, that was the Rumble, now we're good, then that's fine. But somehow I don't necessarily see that. But maybe they're like, oh, Bo doesn't really fit, let's get rid of him, and then they bring in someone to replace it. So, again, we'll see what happens. But I don't know. I just hope they don't like get rid of this already, because they did a better job at the promo on Monday. The crowd was reacting well. Heath Slater's good.
Do you think it's correct? I mean, like, I know he's on a different, he's obviously in a different company and everything, but Adam Cole's been saying baby for a long time, hasn't he?
Yeah, but so is Heath Slater.
All right.
Heath Slater was saying it since like NXT and stuff,
All right, so like it's just like kind of a coincidence.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay. And then I mean, you the big storyline, I guess, really you had Lesnar the whole time, and what I thought was Heyman being serious, basically, and like Brock Lesnar should not be in this match. Brock Lesnar is a prize fighter.
Yeah.
I don't know. Part of me,
but like again, to me that doesn't make sense, because he's fighting for the biggest prize of them all, on the biggest, for the biggest stage of them all,
But it's like I don't know.
Like he has a chance, to make history, even though he doesn't care about making history, but he has a chance to make history. He has a chance to win the title and then main event WrestleMania. So aren't those 3 prizes that would make him more money and more famous?
Well, then you had Lesnar come in, and so they had this one versus all match.
Let's talk about that. So I mean, it was not 1 versus all; it was 1 versus Kevin Owens, which which to me it makes my heart melt, because like this was Vince McMahon's storyline, kayfabe, blah blah blah, whatever. This was Vince McMahon's one guy that he okayed to wrestle this match, and Kevin Owens interacted with him the whole time, and he was just on the money. So to me, it was like, wow. And, then I thought he was gonna Then I was like, okay, is he gonna lose like super quick? Or then it was like, okay, well, okay, all right, now he's putting on a good fight. Is he gonna lose? All right, even if he loses, whatever. And then he didn't lose. And that turns my head even more, because other than to John Cena, like this guy, the fluke to Neville, this guy doesn't lose.
I feel like they had us talking in the gorilla position. And I feel like just right before we're going to go out, it's like, all right, Kevin, you said you wanted to grab the brass ring. All right, well, go out there tonight and show me what you can do.
I could see it, man. I could definitely see it.
That had to happen. Like, it just...
and like it just, thank God, because like, again, whatever. This is a guy we've watched for years before, blah, blah, blah. But, like, thank God that when he got here, he got a shot, and he hasn't dropped the ball since.
Yeah.
So it's just cool to see that that's happening instead of what we've been accustomed to of just like push stop, push stop, push stop. He won the U.S. title, he lost it. He won the IC title, he lost it. But I like he hasn't lost the position on the card at all. Like every time he just goes up. So now he's won the U.S. title, and now he's won the IC title in his first year. Hey, what if he wins the Rumble in the WWE? Hey, man. Fun time.
All right, and of course, because we always build to the biggest angle of the night, Charlotte and Becky.
Yeah, well,
no, it was good.
First,
it's good, but
during the angle, right at the end.
Oh yeah.
The Wyatts didn't do anything. They stood in the corner by the wall, like behind the stairs. They just stood there. And like when everyone was beating up Reigns, I was like, is the Wyatt family going to turn face right now and come in and save Reigns? And then they didn't. And then Brock came out, and I was like, oh, is Brock going to save Reigns? And then Brock didn't. But it was a fun, like, couple of minutes where I was like, all right, is this going to happen? Is this going to happen? Oh, this could happen. What if it, like, it's nice to have all those possibilities.
Yeah, I like to be able to turn my brain off and actually just enjoy watching the story, and that's been happening. So,
exactly.
Even with Becky attacking Charlotte, and then Charlotte.
Yeah.
The only
Nate.
Nate was great, but and I understand he's the manager, but like I feel like she could have also had a mic and be like, no. I just.
But she's not great on the mic, so I don't really care that.
All right.
It was like all the manager, like, nope, what are you, like, she's not going to fight. What are you, nuts? Like, now she doesn't look weak. It was him.
Yeah. All right. So that I enjoyed that, and I want to see how it continues to play out. And I didn't.
However, why do we need the Bellas to come to the ring? Just to plug Total Divas? That was it? Because Charlotte could have came out first, and we could have done this.
And it seems now Paige. So it's saying Paige has a concussion.
Yeah.
And I thought someone told me that Sasha was hurt too, but I'm not sure if I just made that up.
Like someone said like her ACL was like sprained or something, but she said no. So maybe it is, and it's not a serious injury, so she's hurt, not injured, or whatever.
All right. Makes sense.
But like it was funny because just this week I was like, remember that Divas Revolution thing? Like, yeah. Now all we have is 12 seconds of an angle, and then that's it. There's 2 divas featured on Raw every week. There's nobody else involved. Like, yeah, that was cool. That was fun for a month, and now it's over.
Well, I like the storyline, and I think when the others heal up, I think
exactly. Everyone is hurt, so that's really what's holding off, more divas being on the show. So yeah. I get that.
What Natty was wrestling with like a broken ankle.
I mean, I literally don't care that she's not on TV.
Well, no, yeah, I know, but I'm saying that's I'm just adding danger.
Yeah, even healthy, I don't even think she would be on TV. But Becky, Charlotte, Sasha, Paige, Nikki, Brie, and then Bayley. That's it. I'm good. 10, 9, whatever that is. Naomi. That's it.
Yeah.
And then you have Emma and Dana Brooke, whoever, Asuka. So they'll be okay. In a couple months, a year, it'll be all right.
All right. Well, that's it for Raw. Did you? So NXT, I thought. Well, it started off for me I was very excited because Tom Phillips is returning to full-time play-by-play. All right, that's not really why I was excited. I was excited because my boy Sami Zayn came back. Oh, he wants to go back and be the first 2-time NXT champion.
Now, how do you feel about that?
I understand it. I don't want him to fall by the wayside.
That's my concern. Is like yes, I get like he'll need some time to tune up and everything, so he'll be in NXT for a little bit. But I hope he's not an NXT lifer, man. I hope we get to see him on Raw.
There's no way. If Tyler Breeze is up right now, and not taking anything away from Tyler Breeze, but come on.
But
Sami Zayn.
Yes, but Sami Zayn is a guy who can bring you a crowd anywhere you go with NXT. Tyler Breeze is not necessarily that guy. So like Samoa Joe, Sami Zayn, those kind of guys, I can see staying there forever and just building NXT. You know, like that's what like James Storm or you know if he would have came, like I can see that kind of thing happening. They're too talented not to bring up to the main roster. But my fear is that NXT at some point will be thin of talent, and those kind of guys will be just there. You know, it will be good to have them there. So I don't know.
So Joe comes out because this poor guy, poor Sami Zayn, man, can't ever just come out and be positive.
I was pretty hyped to see that. It's a cool interaction.
It's gonna be good, and then I'm actually okay. I like Corbin also being involved in it. I think it elevates Corbin. It also adds a little bit of intrigue to the match.
I'm surprised they didn't throw Cruz in. Maybe they will. I don't know.
Yeah, just not. I think let's say, because I think Sammy's gonna be obviously like from this trio. I think Sammy goes over. Right, so I think
I don't know about that.
You don't think so? You don't think Corbin can take the loss? Or
I don't know. I honestly don't know because Sammy is the best at the underdog role. So like him losing is like kind of better for him. Like you know what I mean? Like him losing the match and then everyone cheering for him harder to even like That's what the underdog character is.
I love that I can cheer. I can read the spoilers for NXT for like 2 months ahead or whatever, and then not remember at all. Yeah. So,
Zero.
You're going to have the Zayn versus Corbin versus Joe for the number one contender, and I legitimately have nothing but a 33.3% chance to get this right because I don't remember.
Yeah, no idea. I don't even know. Like, I don't even remember reading like that match was taped. So I don't like
This is so exciting, so new. Ciampa beat Birch, which is an okay match. Nothing really I want to talk about there. I mean, I like
just a good spot for Ciampa to be in, just to have a regular match, get a win.
The ROH monster.
Even though he's tiny.
The shocking NXT awards, which we can basically spend 22 seconds talking about because they're all accurate and correct.
I'm angry that Bayley didn't win Competitor of the Year.
I would have liked that.
Like I don't like Balor is awesome, but I don't think Bayley changed. Bayley was awesome.
But if the voting is real, is real,
I don't think they rigged it. So, but I'm just mad that Bayley still didn't win. So
Baylor,
everything else was fine. Yeah, Bayley won. Sasha and Bayley won the NXT Brooklyn
baby. The match in Brooklyn and the TakeOver Brooklyn.
And was it the match? I didn't see. Enzo and Cass, like I guess, like I wrote Dash and Dawkins probably should have won, but whatever. Like Enzo and Cass are super entertaining, so I don't mind.
You can't teach winning an NXT award.
And the interaction that Enzo Amore had with Wendy's was quite phenomenal.
The bacon, and you can't teach that.
This right here, this is the Baconator. That was just phenomenal by Wendy's. Kudos to you, Wendy's Twitter man.
Really.
And then we had the Divas Battle, the NXT Women's Battle Royal, right? And okay, Carmella wins, right? Like Eva Marie fake wins, and Carmella comes out and throws her over. Now, if I didn't watch Breaking Ground, and I didn't know or I didn't find out that Bayley and Carmella are like BFFs forever,
Yeah.
I would feel a lot better about this. But now I just kind of feel like, oh, she's getting that because she's friends with Bayley. Like, if I didn't know that, I would have been like, oh, shit, that's kind of crazy. That's cool. I wouldn't have expected that, but now I'm just like, yeah, she's Bailey's dude, so that's why she's.
But at the same time, I mean, like Sasha and Bailey were friends, and they had these great matches, and I think they're like.
But that's very different because they were all in that top spot. Carmella like hasn't even done anything, and is like just now feuding with Bailey for the title. And like I get it, they're gonna play off that they're friends, blah blah blah. And I'm wrong for feeling like it's just because they're friends, But watching Breaking Ground and finding that out just makes me feel that way.
Okay. That's
so like it's just like But it'll be okay, and I'm sure it will be good because they're friends and they're gonna put super amount of time into it. So I'm fine with it. I'm gonna enjoy it because Carmella's funny, but whatever. Just leave that bad taste.
What do you think? What did you think about Elias Sampson?
I don't
Did you
know.
think anything? I mean, if you don't think anything, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's
too
kind of
early.
Just whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's tough when he's just been the joke jobber, and now.
Yeah.
Like I get it. That's kind of what happens in wrestling, and it can be successful. But I don't know. It's again, it leaves that bad taste in your mouth. Like I've just been watching this guy get his ass kicked, and now I'm supposed to believe he's the tough guy.
Very hard.
Again, we'll see. With NXT, I enjoy it, so they usually do the right thing. So they're going to give this guy a shot, and then whatever. We'll see what they do.
I also watched. I watched 2 hours of Ring of Honor this week because what happened.
Neither from this week.
Well, actually, I figured it out. So this is what happened last week. Their new episode that aired on Comet should have been up on their website on Thursday. It wasn't up, and then they finally loaded it up on like Monday or Tuesday. All right, so because I checked like compulsively all weekend. Now, as a ringside member or whatever, you only have access to the current week's episode. You don't have access to their library. So you can't go back and watch last week's, whatever. Not that you can't just watch it somewhere else, but you can't watch it on their site. So the thing is, I had to make sure that I watched last week's episode because then this morning...
You wouldn't have been able to watch, yeah.
Yeah, because this morning, like about... Because I'm a crazy person and I checked it like at 7. They probably changed it at about 9:30, 10 o'clock to last night's episode. And I actually think they have some there's some great, interesting stuff I think going on. What I liked was the episode that I watched that aired last night. And I had some build up to some different feuds. Bennett's already left and they had taping with him, so
that's good. Yeah.
But see, they worked it out well, and like Nigel basically acknowledged it, but it was
like the send off.
Like he said that. So at the end, it was Red Dragon came out after like Adam Cole was like talking. Adam Cole said like I did what I was supposed to do, at Final Battle. You guys didn't, and he was getting in their face, and then right there, Bobby Fish cuts him off. They come out. And Nigel books a match, and he says, "All right, for the last time next week, it'll be Red Dragon versus the Kingdom." And then the Young Bucks music hits, and they come out. And then he ends up, saying, "Oh, the crowd wants this," So they book a Philly street fight triple threat tag team match next week. So that one. The only really weird thing about it is afterwards there's a promo that Red Dragon cuts. And, Kyle O'Reilly had come out and he was like angry and this security that the Kingdom had was holding him back. And then their promo, they're being like ridiculous. Like Kyle O'Reilly's like, I'm a tough guy. I came from a broken home. My parents never divorced, but one time a tree branch actually came through the window and broke our house. There was like a split, and we had to get it fixed. And I was like, "What? Like you're angry? Like you're supposed to be like really irritated? Like
angry,
what is
not telling stories?"
like, what is this weird, funny story? Because that's funny. Like, I laughed, but like not because
Wrongfully so. But
yeah, you're supposed to be the, you have the Kingdoms. They're obviously the heels there. You have the Young Bucks as like
it was to get sympathy, and it didn't work.
it was so bad. It was so bad. Bobby Fish, I legitimately like don't like. So I mean, he just looks like he's an annoying person. Like, nah.
Yes.
So but I enjoyed the last comment because I feel like it was more smart than it was for the smart fans out there, whatever, that know what was going on and kind of like acknowledging it, which I've always liked that Ring of Honor will do.
Mm-hmm.
I love those three. Okay, the best part about watching Ring of Honor on their website is, I guess they might still just tape it from comment. So they have the most ridiculous commercials. One, you have Jay Lethal every week. They have this partnership with like this brace that you can call, like, that is covered by Medicaid, that can help relieve knee or back pain. But Lethal cuts a promo. He's like, "Are you suffering with lower back or pain?" He's like, "Get this pain-saving brace." And I'm like, "What? This is great." Yeah. They also had a promo for the Steve Corino DVD that's out, and the Young Bucks are in the ring with him. And so the Young Bucks are in the ring with him, and they're talking about it. They're like, "It's the best of," and they're like, "Well, technically, it's kind of like the worst of too, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." So he's there. They're like hyping it, whatever. Colby comes out and he goes, "Oh, Colby," and they're like, "Hey, that's your son, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, Here." He's like, "Happy birthday." And then Colby goes, "Thanks, 4 months too late." And then the Young Bucks super kick him, and then Corino goes, "Super kick!" I'm just like, I know the kayfabe commercial is just, for me, just amazing.
Yeah, that's great.
And the fact,
especially when it's like funny, like actually funny.
The other big news, I guess, from last night. So the big storyline news is that Dynamite Dijak, he basically at the end, Truth Martini, whose voice is
big news.
I mean, well, big news. Yeah. Well, Truth Martini comes out after the match. They end up losing to War Machine, and he gets in Dijak's face, calls him the weak link and everything. And my apologies. And it was just, he ends up like slapping him in the face, and Dijak turns, and then they haven't put it together yet, but apparently Prince Nana has been giving out envelopes. He gave one to Caprice Coleman. I think he gave one to ACH. He's been giving out these envelopes. He gave one to Dijak a couple weeks ago, and he came out and was like clapping, and Dijak pointed to him. So I think something's going to happen there with Nana.
All right, yeah, we'll see. That makes sense. He's been like planting his little seeds all over, especially with like Stokely, right? Stokely, Hathaway, whatever.
And then you had a fatal four-way type match with. It was Moose, Jay Briscoe, Matt Sydal, and my boy Dalton Castle with his boys.
Yeah.
And Castle came out with the win.
I saw that. That's all.
So I believe next week there's going to. Oh, and the other thing was that. Okay, I like Rocky Romero so much more when he's not wearing the patch on his eye. Yeah. Because he came out, and it was funny because they ended up having All Night Express work. They were obviously the heels there in this match, but it's like I don't think of Romero as a heel when he's not wearing the eye patch, but when he has the eye patch, like I don't.
Like, oh man, this guy is villainous, dastardly.
So yes, that's exactly what that eye patch does for them. So if I'm correct, they're building towards their reunion show. Not reunion. Sorry,
14th anniversary.
14th anniversary show. So that's going to be really good. It seems that they're positioning Cole to kind of go up in that number one contender spot.
Well, I already know what the main event is. Do you not know what the main event is?
See, this is interesting. Should I have you tell me, or should I just be excited because I forget things? Because I definitely read this already. Don't tell me. I don't want to know. I want to keep doing this until the event.
Terrible.
All right. I mean, I guess go ahead.
Thank you. Lethal versus Cole versus O'Reilly.
Wow. I mean, I know that Bobby Fish has kind of been going with this interesting angle with Roderick, where Roderick kind of tapped out during their match, but the ref didn't see it because it was like on the other side of him. And then, Fish is kind of rubbing in his face. Roderick, though, seems like he's getting almost heelishly mad at it.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, I guess,
Tap
yeah.
out, bro, but I still beat you, bro.
Exactly. Yeah. He's he's like, nah, like he's just being like a little bitch about it, kind of. So, I can see I've really started to like Adam Cole, and I mean, this is what I like about ROH, where they'll just stay with the storyline for a long time.
Welcome to the club, man.
When Cole came back, and he was like, teasing that he was a face, and then it's not the time. I'm terrible, but he kind of reunited with O'Reilly, and then he turned on him. Like, I was like, whoa! I got really excited into it, Yeah,
because you didn't really watch when he was the ROH champion, and you certainly didn't watch when he was in PWG, just fucking killing it, So those are the things that I watched, and that's when I became a fan of Adam Cole. And as the original time that Future Shock was together and then broke up, that's when I was like, all right, this dude is awesome. And then he had the whole Adam Cole baby, and he used to, he used to tell people to suck his dick,
really,
or PWG, and then the crowd would literally chant it, and so he was just absurd,
So for me, it's I've just kind of started to really appreciate him this year, and now, heading into the main event at this big show. I love Lethal as champion, but I could see Cole walking out. It's crazy. I mean, I don't think he will just yet,
but I can see because Lethal doesn't get pinned, whenever there's the triple threat, I'm like, the champ doesn't get pinned, especially in a situation like this where Lethal has looked so strong for so long.
Yeah, I mean,
it would make sense.
Every time I watch Lethal defend the belt. There's always that thought,
because even though he's been the TV champ, it's just he's still been champ for such a long period of time.
But hopefully the website is finally going to be working the right way, so that Thursday mornings, whatever, I can go in and watch it. Because when I'm consistent with Ring of Honor, I really enjoy the product.
Yeah, absolutely.
And probably, I'm so much more forgiving.
Same with any wrestling promotion, but certainly those, because there's such little spoken storyline that it's hard to follow if you don't watch it weekly or at least consistently.
What was great, by the way, was during the time when the Kingdom and Red Dragon comes out and come on, Nigel, make the match, right? So Nigel grabs the mic. And then the Young Bucks come out. Nigel at one point goes, all right. The fans aren't here to listen to us talk. They're here to see action. So then he just makes the announcement. I'm just like, this is amazing. One of the few times where you guys have a talking segment, because I've watched episodes where it's just straight matches. He's like, all right, guys, we can't. Yeah, this is too much. Let's get out of this. Let's just make the match. So I just thought it was kind of funny, but I'm going to continue watching. So I'm going to try this week.
I got to just remember to program TNA in my DVR. I forgot again. And then I was like, all right, it'll be online. I don't know if I said this earlier or off the air. So, hopefully it'll either be online consistently, or I'll just definitely start DVRing it and fast-forwarding it through there. So we can at least, touch on that a little bit, because it did you even read the TNA spoilers and stuff?
I think I know that Kurt Angle fought.
All right, so I guess in a month or so, or maybe longer down the line, Matt Hardy turns heel and with Tyrus, and he beats EC3 for the belt, and EC3 is a good guy, and like maybe like him and Jeff will be boys to go against this. So definitely a cool little like, oh, all right, that's interesting.
Wait, Tyrus is a good guy with.
No, Tyrus is a heel with Hardy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so like
Poor EC3.
pretty cool. But exactly, like now it'll be cool to see EC3 as a good guy. So like it's fine with me.
Sorry.
Interesting stuff.
Sorry for you TNA fans who like to watch it week to week.
TNA has the same amount of people who actually care about them that do us.
All right, fair. That's probably true.
It's not fair because 400,000 people watched their show this week.
That's probably how many are listening to us right now.
Yeah, minus like 6 zeros.
Yeah.
5 zeros.
5.
Yeah, minus 5 zeros, so 4.
All right, excellent. So that's really, I mean, I don't think there's.
Just the. Okay, at some random ROH show, Lethal is fighting Matt Jackson for the title, and
Really?
Gallows and Gunn are fighting War Machine. So that kind of worries me, like, interesting. But, I still think they're all coming to WWE.
Yeah, they just had, I think they just had prior commitments, and that's.
Yeah, exactly. And Nakamura is coming to the Performance Center in February to train and go through his physical tests and all that. So that'll be definitely dope that like this is kind of confirmed now, like it's definitely happening in some form of another. So, definitely will be interesting, and we'll see what they do. They just launched the network in Japan. So
that's right.
It makes a ton of sense to have Nakamura be the face of that, have the Bullet Club be the face of that, because
that's relatable. Yeah,
those 4, 5, 6 guys are super over. So, brilliant move on their part. But apparently, I read that Nakamura reached out to them last year, like, hey, you have any interest in me? And like by the time they got back to him, he signed the 1-year deal with New Japan. So now it was basically like, okay, we'll wait for that year to end, and then that's pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's exciting. I'm looking forward to hopefully because Tommy's been hurt, right?
Yeah, maybe they'll be the Orient Express.
Yeah, terribly racist. I mean, crime time. Why not?
Oh, so just one more little story here. So hopefully he doesn't listen to this. My school safety guard, right, in my school, always watches wrestling, and so he texts me a picture today, and it says, "Please tell me this isn't true." And it's a picture, and it says Vince McMahon, like WWE is bankrupt. Vince McMahon blows all his money on Powerball tickets. And I said, my man, I was like, yo, are you like for real, man? You believe that? And he wrote like, yeah, they're saying he spent all his money on Powerball. And I was like, yo, why would he spend billions of dollars to win $1 billion? And I was like, yo, it's kayfabe, aka fake. And he was just like, oh man, oof, come on, dude. No wonder you always tell me these ridiculous stories, because you're reading fake websites.
Well, don't worry. I think I'll be on the unemployment line soon, because I've gotten convinced to keep doing a beer money chant with one of my students.
Oh, like, you definitely shouldn't do that.
Come on. And I'm like, and at first he was doing beer and I was just doing money, but now he's got me doing beer. So,
That's not good. Yeah, you can't do
beer money.
No, you got to be like Pepsi, Cola.
I'm going to walk into my principal's office. He's going to be like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
For your damn luck. You're fired.
Yeah, imagine. You would just have to be like, okay, yep. Shake
I would
my
pop.
hand,
I would
see you
pop.
later. Yeah.
I would be excited.
That's it. You would just laugh and like, okay, hey, you got me, boss. See you later, man. Thanks. It's been real.
All right. Well, on that note, just wanted to remind you guys that you're listening to us on iTunes. You guys, we're under our, obviously you can just search for Running Wild Podcast with Rich and Runz. But also, what?
Continue this, but
we're also under the Last Word on Sports Radio umbrella. And you can also catch us on the Wrestling to the Max network. You guys should take a look at their podcast also, as well as their Facebook page. And remember, that's Wrestling and the number 2, the Max.
Yeah, see, I totally forgot about this, but whatever. I'll just ask you now, and then we can two-sweet it out. Do you know who the last 2 were in the 1989 Royal Rumble?
1989.
Yep.
All right. So let's go with the first Survivor Series was 87.
Oh, Jesus.
The first Rumble was 88. So this is the second Rumble. So, I mean, it's 89. The Mega Powers exploded at WrestleMania. So Hogan has to win. God damn. I don't know why I don't think it's Big John Studd. Earthquake. Perfect? Not perfect. All right. I don't know why. I'm going to go with Hogan.
Hogan as your winner?
Hogan's my winner.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with Big John Studd is so weird. I'm going to go with Earthquake.
Okay. Well, I went into this like, oh, okay, this is the first of the Hogan years. Incorrect. Big John Studd is the winner, and Ted DiBiase is the runner-up.
So this
Yep.
is...
Yep.
So
See, this is the only Royal Rumble
Wow.
that I can watch where I didn't know the winner. Like every other one, I'm like, oh, okay, this guy wins, whatever. This is the only one that I had no idea, and I was like, oh, wow, that was pretty ridiculous.
I was so close. God,
Yeah, you mentioned him a couple
Big
times.
John Studd, damn it.
And also, do you know who Quang was? This is probably pretty easy.
Quang. I do. See, I'm going to get this wrong. And I'm going to get this wrong because I'm pretty sure I made Quang out of the Jim Anvil Neidhart figure. Like I don't know why, but something about the Neidhart figure from like High Energy, not the Neidhart figure from
okay.
all right, the one where he just had no shirt and blue pants or something like that. I made that into Quang with like markers and like probably nail polish. So I'm gonna I want to say that, but it's so wrong.
Yeah, that's not even close. I mean,
he's a heavier guy though. He was. God, okay. Is it cheating if I just look at a picture of him?
Hold
Can
on.
I see a picture?
Hold on. Oh, okay, hold on. Let me look
Screenshot
at
a picture so that you're not. I'm not seeing a name because if I see the body, I think it can help.
I mean, it's probably cheating just doing that, but I'll show you because it's clear that you don't know, so that's fine with. Oh, gee, yeah. I just searched Quang and it's some like I don't know, really skinny, weird Japanese guy. Can you see this?
Savio Vega.
Yeah.
You see, but like I knew that it's just that stupid Jim Neidhart toy really messed up with my memory.
Jim Neidhart. Yep, yeah, but he was in a Rumble the other day, and I was like, oh, Rikishi, and then I was like, no, wait a minute, that's not Rikishi, and then I had to look it up.
But it's so funny because Savio Vega's not even a big guy.
Nah, exactly. That's why I was like, oh, okay, that's Rikishi. And then I was like, damn, like Rikishi was the Sultan, he was this, he was that. And then I looked it up. I looked up Rikishi and I was like, oh wait, he wasn't Quang? Oh, who was? And then Savio Vega. All right. So yeah, those are my two trivia questions.
Oh, the last weird last bit of just knowledge or weirdness. I was watching at midnight with Chris Hardwick. And they randomly had wrestling on it that I'm not even sure they knew it was wrestling. So he said that he Googled like his name and glamour shots or whatever, like this thing that people are doing now.
Okay.
And you see like a picture of, like some model or somebody doing some weird glamour shots. Sometimes it's really funny. Sometimes it's just normal. So Chris Hardwick said he did his, and for some and Aldo Montoya was his glamour shot. It was just like Aldo Montoya, like.
So
I'm
if I
like-
just Google like my name and then glamour shot,
Apparently, this is a thing that people do. So weird enough that he does the Aldo Montoya, because I'm like, how did Aldo Montoya? Like, that's just incredible. Like,
how do you spell glamour? Is there a U or is it? Yeah, right. There's
Yeah.
definitely a U. Okay.
so the other guy, so they Googled one for Bret glamour shot, and it's pictures of Bret Hart from Lonesome Dove, and I'm just like, what is this?
Oh, this is I don't the only like yeah I don't even know, like, are you, what the fuck is this?
Wait.
Yeah, that's just a
What?
dude, like, I don't, yeah. Like, I don't even
Yours?
know.
Yours is very weird.
That's like, that was like the first thing. That's like one of, then there's just like mugshots of random people.
All right. I want you to see. All right. Why is
Oh.
mine so messed up?
Oh, so you did Rich Glamour Shot,
So I just
not
did
like
Rich.
your last name.
No.
Okay.
Are you looking at my screen?
Yes.
There is a man in a
Yes.
full.
SpongeBob.
The first one that comes up is a guy in SpongeBob sweatpants. It's a sweatsuit, right? What is that? I don't even know what that's on his head. A do-rag?
Probably, and
And
then a
SpongeBob's-
SpongeBob headband.
Or the second one is
Oh man, that unicorn guy is pretty absurd.
a scary man holding an AK-40. Wait
Please
a minute.
click on the unicorn.
Oh,
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you. That's amazing. Please look at my screen. This is when Jeff Glamour Shot is a picture of David Bowie holding a cat.
I hope that the cat's name is Jeff. And
Yeah.
I'll leave you with this one before we get out of here. What is that?
Yeah, that's the second one on my screen too. Oh, nice.
This
Nice
is this
afro.
man with an amazing Will. He's like Will Ferrell, but he's not, and he's holding.
Yeah, he's real life Will Ferrell.
Oh, this is amazing. All right. Well,
So
with
yeah.
that, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys send us some trivia for next week. You guys will, as a reminder, you guys will be hearing us every Saturday from now on. That's our consistent day. Give you guys some time to get through your work week and then unwind on the weekends listening to the dulcet tones of Rich and Runz. And never forget that you guys have been listening to the podcast that is just too
Sweet.